Hey everybody, welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. One of the coolest things to me about this community here on YouTube and in the gardening community in general is the willingness to help each other. I'm going to get into that in just a minute, but we are going to do another experiment on a tomato sucker in a different way that I've never heard of before. So, let's grow. Am I talking about this community and the YouTube community of gardeners? Well, what I'm talking about is this example right here. A subscriber sent me a message on a different way of starting a tomato sucker and turning it into a plant. Now, a couple videos ago, I took a sucker off of one of these plants right here beside me, put it in the ground right over there, threw some blood meal, bone meal down in there, covered it up, watered it in really good, and about a week later, that thing is just going crazy. But the other way that he explains to cut a tomato sucker, put it in a jar and put it inside and all that, I've never done. And to me, it sounds and it seems like it would be an even more viable option for success. So, as I love to do on this channel, let's experiment and give this way of doing a tomato sucker and starting another plant from a tomato sucker a shot. I'm not going to go in depth into what a tomato sucker is, but here's the Cliff Notes version. You have a single stem, and then you have the normal leaf branches that come out, or the fruiting branches. In the middle of those two, growing at a 45-degree angle, will be another offshoot, another side growth. Those are called suckers. They suck some of the growing energy out of the main plant into those side shoots. Now those side shoots, if they get long enough, can actually become other tomato plants. That is what a sucker is. Now let's find one, because I found a few really big ones last night on these plants. Let's cut one and let's start this experiment. As we can see right here, this is the main stem. This right here, this right down here is a normal branch that's actually about to come off because it's touching the ground. This is shooting out at a 45-degree angle. That right there, y'all, is the sucker that we're going to cut off. So, good sharp shears right along the stem, right there along the stem, and just like that, we have this huge sucker that was already starting to fruit. Look at that. Because that's what they do. These will actually turn into another plant on the plant. So we're going to turn this into its own plant. Okay, right off the bat, we're going to take off this bottom growth. Plant doesn't need that. We're going to leave the rest of this. I am going to go and take the flowers off. And that's just to keep the plant focused on growing roots and not anything else over this next few days to a week. He says take the plant inside, get a mild fertilizer, put some water, put it in a dark area for a couple days. Then after those couple days, we're going to go and put it underneath some grow lights. And then once the roots start to grow and they're about 3 inches long, we're going to transplant this back outside. Hopefully there'll be a ton of roots coming off. As you can see, all those little teeny tiny hairs have the potential to become roots. So let's go inside and get this party started. All right, we're going to use this jar right here. I think this will be fine. Let's see. Yeah, it'll give about that much room for these to become roots. So we're going to fill this up. I'm going to go ahead and use this just a little bit. You can see the NPK here is a 644, so it's decent. It's pretty good, actually. So I'm going to use very, very little of this. Like, very little. But that's the brand I'm going to give it a shot here. I've never used this before. But first time for everything. So just a little, like not, maybe just a smidge more. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, so right there about below the rim, I could probably put this in, put a little bit more in here. I'm gonna go put this somewhere in a low light area. Don't have a clue where, because most of my house is very, very lit. So let me figure out a place to put it. I'll show you where I put it, and then we'll be back in a couple days when we move it over under the grow lights, and I will continue the process of this video as we progress. Hopefully This is gonna be a success. I just realized I'm rhyming a lot. Is what it is. Yeah, so I'll stop being goofy. Here we go. I think I'll just sit it right here. It's right over by my front door. Not a lot of light is in here, so this is about as low light as I can get. All right, we'll be back in a couple days. Let's hope this thing is working. Pretty sure it will. Makes total sense that it would. And as you can see, I've got my starters going. Look at those things coming up out. Today is about to be sourdough day. Okay, it's been 2 days and the plant is doing great. So we're gonna move this under a grow light on top of the heat mat and see if we can produce these roots a little quicker. All right, as you can see, I have more pepper seeds growing, at least trying to grow. As of right now, I don't see any roots growing, but that start is definitely still viable and doing really well. Once the roots start to grow, we'll check back in on this video here, get them planted in the garden, and go from there. While we're waiting on the tomato sucker results, I want to do over an experiment that I tried to do in December. If you all remember, I took a bell pepper, cut the bell pepper off, left the part with the stem, where the stem goes into the pepper with all the seeds, planted it, because I saw a TikTok hack that if you plant it in like a bowl or a container, just that part of the bell pepper, then you'll get all these other sprouts and all these other plants growing. Well, it didn't work over the winter, and I had said at the end of that video that I think I'm going to try it again in spring. It's spring, doing an experiment video, so why not do that one over again? So let's go inside, cut this bell pepper, get it planted, and see what the results will be. Okay, so just like in that other video, we are just going to cut the pepper part off. I've had this pepper for a few days, so that's why it looks the way it does, but it's still a good pepper. Okay, that'll work. Use this later today. This part, with all these seeds, and look at that, it even has a bug in it already. How does that work, y'all? So let's go get this thing planted just like I did in that other video. Technical difficulties. I already planted it and didn't realize that I didn't have the camera on. Rookie mistake. But I'm going to show you all that it's in here. So there's the pepper right there, the bottom of the pepper. We are using this Happy Frog soil this time. I've been using this so far this year in all of my pepper plants, or all my all my pepper plants. But we just filled this up. I'm going to water it in really good, get it outside, let the sun and nature do its thing to it. Now, over winter, I did not put any drain holes in this because this was inside. So I'm going to add drain holes to it and then get it watered in and sit it out here, and hopefully a week or so we'll have sprouts coming up. I don't know if this is going to work. It didn't work the last time, but I did see that TikTok hack that showed that this would work. So let's put some stuff to the test. And if you all see hacks or TikTok or Instagram reel, whatever, wherever you look, YouTube short, hacks or gardening tips that show these crazy experiments, do them. See if they work. You never know. I hope this does work. It'll be pretty cool, but we'll see. So let me get this thing watered in. Probably need to add a little bit more soil because you can see the top of the pepper right there. So let me do that. Now it's watered in. Now we're just gonna wait, see what it does. So following the advice, check out this tomato sucker, y'all. Ooh, look at those roots. Look at those roots. It worked. It worked. So we are actually going to go plant this thing right now in the ground and get another tomato plant going. Once again, thank Big Will Dog 82 here on YouTube for giving me this idea, breaking it down so we could all see how to do this. And y'all, if this is a hack for tomato suckers that works every time, there's no reason not to do this. I mean, it took about a week-ish, somewhere in that range, but got another tomato plant. So let's go get this thing planted. Okay, I saved a spot just for this in case it worked. And it it has definitely worked. So we're gonna get this thing into the ground. We're gonna put it right here. So right underneath this one, I'm gonna go straight down. I'm gonna move this basil plant out of the way and get it planted right there. So I went about 6 inches down into the soil right there. I'm gonna put some blood meal and bone meal in there. And get the plant planted. All right, here we go. There she is. I'm gonna use the water in the jar to water it in, and we're good to go, y'all. Okay, so one experiment, an absolute success. The other one we're still waiting for. So we'll be back for that experiment in about a week, hopefully about a week. And I should have an update on how that tomato plant is really doing by that time. Let's do an update on these two experiments. It's been about 10 days, so definitely time to do an update. The tomato is doing great. So I know if you look in here, it looks like a whole bunch of just green. Got some marigolds right there. There's a lot of basil everywhere. Little bee there. Right there, y'all, is the plant, is the tomato plant. I know it's setting its roots right now. That's why it hasn't started to shoot up yet. But it's an incredibly healthy plant. And I'm very, very, very happy with the results on that. My advice is this, and this is what I'm going to do from here on out. If I'm going to take a sucker off a tomato plant, I'm going to let it get long, let it get big, and then I'm going to do the method in this video. That plant is great, and that is exactly how I will do tomato suckers from here on out. Takes a little bit of time. Took about 5-6 days before I was able to get it out here. Maybe 7 days before I was able to get it out here into the garden. But that is 100% how I'm going to do it from now on. Now, this pepper challenge, I think I'm 0 for 2 on this, and I'm going to be done with it. Yeah. I've had it sitting there for 10 days now. There should have been sprouts coming up by now, for sure. And there's nothing. So I think this is a dud. I think this experiment is just something someone threw on TikTok or Facebook Reels or Instagram, wherever I saw it. And I don't think it's viable at all. Now I am going to go ahead and leave that container right there and see if something pops up. But after 10 days, there should have been at least one sprout or something coming up out of that soil. But it is what it is. That's why we do experiments, right? You see something on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or, you know, Facebook or whatever, give it a shot. Throw whatever that experiment is in your garden. Try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So be it. At least now I know that one, at least for me, is a dud. Everyone, that's the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you learned something. I want to thank again Big Will Dog 82 for sending me that comment with the step-by-step instructions on what to do for the tomato sucker thing. It works, man. It works. And I'm super excited for that. So thank you to him and to everyone else who comments on all these videos. If you all have ideas of experiments or things to do, or you'd like to see me try, drop them in the comments. I will absolutely give them a shot. If y'all enjoyed this video, do me a favor, share it, like it, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Until next time, everyone, take care, God bless, continue to shine bright and harvest hard. I'll talk to y'all again real soon. Bye. This morning, and living next to a road, y'all. All right, blooper reel. All right, of starting a cucumber, of starting a tomato.